Hello friends, a very warm welcome from a very cold Gurgaon. My name is Shavik and you're watching Shavik Says. Let's start. Alright friends, so today we're going to start a new segment in our channel and we are naming it Technoledge, albeit with a difference in the spelling. So what we aim to do through this segment is to give you a more in-depth understanding of a specific technological advancement. What we're going to look at today is the FTTH or the fiber to the home technology that we talked about in a previous highlight. If you haven't watched it, you can watch it by clicking on the link up here. Before we dive into the FTTH, let's first understand typically how does the internet work. Okay, so let's take an example. Say I want to look up the cricket scores. What happens is when I put that request on my internet browser, the request for data is sent through to the server which houses that information, and that information or that data is then flows back to our computer through various channels. However, the data that we request for and the amount of data we receive back, there is a mismatch because there is loss of data packets in the interim. To make this example simpler, let's take an example of water being flown out of a reservoir and reaching our taps. So if there is a liter of water that gets pumped out of the reservoir, the amount of water that we receive in the tap finally might be somewhere around 750 milliliters. In order to avoid the loss or rather minimize the loss, what we can do is use a stainless steel pipe that will ensure that none of the water leaks out or there is no corrosion that causes leakages. However, the stainless steel pipe will be insanely expensive, which is why we tend to use iron pipes, which though cause the loss in water, it is much cheaper to use. On a similar note, the best possible way to transmit data for the internet is through optical fibers. Like with the case of the stainless steel pipes, they are pretty expensive, which is why internet providers tend to use the cheaper alternative, which is copper or metallic wires or other metallic cables. Typically, what the providers does is they use a combination of optical fibers and metallic cables. Depending on the point in that entire network where the optical fiber stops and the metallic cable start, we have different terminologies, one of which is FTTH. Before we go deeper into how FTTH or what FTTH is, let's take a look at what the other mechanisms are. The first one on our list is FTTN or fiber to the node. Now, to explain this entire mechanism, let's take an hypothetical example of a society. So say the provider uses optical fibers to a certain point in the society. They create a node or something that we know as a box, and then the metallic cables flow out from that node to all the different places that the connections are going to. That's what FTTN is. The next technology is FTTC or fiber to the cabinet. Under FTTC, the usage of optical fibers is a little more than what happens under FTTN. So taking the same example, if the optical fiber reaches a society and then is further subdivided into different streets in that society, that's typically the case of a FTTC. So you can think of it as subnodes post that main node in the society. The next mechanism is FTTB or fiber to the building. As the name suggests, in this particular mechanism, optical fibers are actually laid out as long or as far as the individual buildings or premises, and then the metallic cables are used to further send through these internet connections to the different households within that building. And finally, it's FTTH, which is fiber to the home, and again, as the name suggests, it is optical fibers up until individual premises using the internet connections, which is what Reliance Jio has been doing as a pilot in Mumbai. Now, because of the fact that optical fibers are used in order to send the data through as far as an individual's home, a typical modem will not be able to handle the packets of information that's coming through, which is why we need specialized devices that can capture those packets of data. And that is exactly what Reliance Jio has been doing. As you would have seen in the highlights, they are charging 4,500 rupees for that special modem that they're installing at the premises. Alright guys, that should be it. Let me know if you liked the video. Go ahead, give it a thumbs up. If you did not, give it a thumbs down. But please go ahead and put in your comments and let me know what I am doing well or what I need to do better. And please, please do not forget to subscribe. You can also connect with us through Facebook, Twitter, and Google+. Links to them provided below. I'll be happy to see you there as well. You guys have a good day. I'll talk to you in the next one. Bye-bye. Not again. To the server. Copper